All right, here, so we're gonna start with the dead bug. And this is really the first exercise, continues to work on the core 360 degrees. And as you see, you need a stability ball or a giant cushion, but I would say stability ball if you could do it. So Marie's in the dead bug position. The most important cue here is that we're keeping the ribs down, core engaged. So Marie, could you show us what it doesn't look like when it's engaged? Okay, you can kind of see the ribs are popping off the floor and there's almost a gap where the low back is. We don't want that. So first things first, let's engage the core. Ribs down, try to flatten that out. Doesn't mean that you actually have to physically flatten out. I just want you to think that you're engaging it, trying to stay almost pushed to the floor. Key here too is remember to breathe through the belly even though that you're engaged. So with this in particular, the very first thing we're going to do is apply a bit of pressure into the ball. So pushing down and pushing up. This is actually very, very difficult. So really gauge where you're at. But first things first, we'll be going for 3 sets of 30 seconds of just a contraction. And then you'll be going to 3 sets of 45 and ultimately 3 sets of 60. Once you're crushing that, we're going to start to progress to movements. So back up, we're set, going to start with an arm. So you're just going to be alternating arms in this case. Once you've mastered that, and you can do 60 seconds of just that movement pattern, you're going to go to 60 seconds of just moving the legs. The legs are substantially harder, be advised. After that, once you can master 3 sets of 60, you're going to do alternating arm and leg. So keeping the back flat, you're keeping pressure on the ball, and you're rocking and rolling. That is a tremendous core exercise, and I'm telling you, it is not easy. Next, we're going to jump into the side bridge progressions. First one is going to be directly on the knees. This is the easiest progression, same thing, 30 seconds, 45, then 60. I would be more inclined to say 2 sets with this instead of 3. So that would be your first one, holding that position, staying tall, making sure the hips don't sag. Show a sag. Meow, don't want that. There we go. The next progression is going to be to do it on the feet. Again, this is substantially harder, nice straight line. You're going for the exact same sets and reps. And finally, what we're going to be doing is a straight arm and the top arm up in the air. And for bonus points, we're lifting the leg up. So essentially a star, keeping the hips tall. This is very, very difficult, but this is your final progression once you master the other ones. And last but not least, we're going to go into the bird dog. But as you can see, we're in a nice tall tabletop position. A couple keys here. We don't want to be extended, or hyperextended, I should say, boom. And we don't want to be flexed or rounded. We want to stay nice and neutral. So ribs down, core engaged, just like you would if you're on that dead bug position. And almost think of if you had a cup of water in the low back, that when you do this movement pattern, it's not going to spill. So first things first, you'd be doing a basic bird dog. So opposite arm, opposite leg, under control, with really no rotation, rounding, or faults. So if Marie, you could show what a breakdown looks like. The most common one is things go tipping, that water spilling. So keep it nice and tight. And if that's too difficult, what you can do is just reduce the range of motion. So you can see just not lifting the leg completely up, a smaller range of motion, easier to control it. The key here is quality. So though we are aiming for 3 sets of 8 reps per side, I'd rather you do 2 sets of 4 quality than do 3 sets of 8 that are not so good. And then finally with the bird dog, the final progression with this would be to go opposite arm, opposite leg, and then bring it back through so that the knee and the elbow touch. And you're going to run through your rep ranges there. So you would work the one side and then you would rotate over to the other side. So these 3 things are going to hit every single aspect of the spine from a stability perspective. It's going to create a nice engagement of the core in a safe manner. Any questions you have, let us know, and have an awesome day.
Bye.